Canadian Para Ice Hockey Show, brought to you by Petro-Canada.
It is a beautiful day in Beijing, China, as CBC's coverage of the 2002 Paralympic Winter Games continues. The site today, National Indoor Stadium, just to the left there of the Bird's Nest, as the group stage carries on. Welcome inside the studio for the Canadian Para Ice Hockey Show, presented by Petro-Canada. Once again, I'm Victor Finley. That, to my left, is 2006 Paralympic gold medalist, longtime national team goaltender with Canada, Paul Rosen. All right, Paul, USA and Korea. It is a day off for Canada, so the other two teams in Group A will go at it. What kind of matchup do we expect to see tonight?
I think the Koreans, they haven't played yet, so they'll probably be a little bit nervous. They know now they have a good shot of getting into the bronze medal game. They're going to play hard, but the Americans are one notch ahead. The Americans had a great game, 5-0 against the Canadians. I think the Americans are going to dominate today.
And what a hot start it was for Team USA in this tournament. Really hard to get better than what the USA put down on paper. We've expected this one to be the best group stage matchup, but it was fairly one-sided. Team Canada-USA gold medal rematch from 2018, and this is a group stage that turned out, or group stage game turned out to be a convincing win for USA, Paul.
Absolutely. Started off pretty fast. A beautiful slip-off play from Declan Farmer to Josh Pauls, the captain. Starts it out 1-0, then a play over. Roybal, Brody Roybal takes the shot. No chance for Dominic Larocque as it hits Rob Armstrong's sled. One of the hardest things to do in sled hockey as a goaltender is stop a deflection. Here it comes out all alone. Roybal takes a shot, catches the front end of the Rob Armstrong sled and goes in. And now this is number 3, real nice goal. Malachi Jones, first game in the Paralympics, and he gets his first goal. Nice deflection, again, extremely hard. Jack Wallace, one of the unsung heroes, played great. And then goal number 5, we'll miss 4, but goal number 5, McKee comes over to Declan Farmer and he puts it in. A beautiful goal, and that was on the debut of Canadian goaltender Kings Mills.
So a 4.9 for Declan Farmer in that one, a goal and 3 assists as he leads the way for the United States. Under it to a convincing 5-0 victory over Team Canada. So here's how the standings shake up. Of course, the Russian athletes not allowed to compete in this tournament, so now Group A becomes a 3-team tournament with the United States, South Korea, and Canada. The South Koreans the last to play in this group. And then over in Group B, we've seen a couple matchups already, Paul. The Chinese end up shutting out Slovakia. A big win for them, 7-0. And the Czechs with an upset win too, a shutout victory over the Italians.
Yep, all 3 games so far have been shutouts. I'm totally surprised that the Italians got outplayed so bad by the Czechs. The Czechs didn't score a goal in the World Championships last year, so that's a big one. And China, in their first time ever, dominating the Slovakians.
All right, so let's go back to Canada for a minute, Paul. We saw some debutantes, at least at the Paralympics, for Team Canada in their last game. 7 rookies on the team, 5 made their Paralympic debuts against the United States of America.
One of the greatest things is getting that chance as a young athlete to put that jersey on for the first time. They were nervous. You must admit, the Americans outplayed the Canadians, but they were nervous. They're going to probably have a real good practice today and tomorrow, and the young guys will get their feet wet and be ready for Korea.
Always a special moment. Wasn't exactly a dream game for Canada, but it was a dream come true for a number of those Canadian Paralympic athletes. Here's how a few of them shared the news with their family and friends.
We've got some big news.
What's your news?
I made Team Canada, guys.
Oh, son.
Well, congratulations, Anton.
We can finally freaking be at peace. I've been damn stressed for the last few days.
Pretty emotional, that's for sure.
Hey guys, so I just wanted to let you guys know that I'm not going to be back till mid-March. I'm going to be in Beijing for a little while.
Oh my God, I knew it.
Oh my God, babe.
Yeah, very excited.
Can you see that?
Just
That's
did a couple backflips on my bed. That's why I'm out of breath.
Et ouais, j'ai fait l'équipe.
Yay! Félicitations.
Merci, merci.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Very good. Congrats.
Pretty fired up. Can't wait to be going with the boys.
I'm so excited. I'm so happy for you.
Thank you.
How do you
Thank you.
feel?
It's an honor to represent my country, and I'll make you guys proud for sure.
Yeah.
Yes, we know that, son. You already make us proud. You already, doing it every day. We are very proud to have you as a son.
I don't have a whole lot of words other to say thank you.
Well, congratulations. You deserve it.
See you guys.
Bye. Congratulations. Bye.
Bye, Toby.
Well, impossible to not have a bit of a smile on your face after seeing moments like that. So here's the board of 7 newcomers for Team Canada at this year's Paralympics. Of course, 5 of them saw game action in game 1. It was Riley and Sisson who have yet to play. Adam Kingsmill, the goaltender, started as the backup for the first 2 periods behind the rock. He got in to his first Paralympic action as a replacement in the 3rd. So, Paul, special moment for those players. You had your debut now about 2 decades ago. It's been a little while, but everybody remembers their first. What do you remember about yours?
Well, I must say, you guys have made me cry back-to-back games. It was 2002, a long time ago, and I was the backup goalie to the great Pierre Pichette. The first game I came in, we were down against the United States. They had a 5-on-3. My mom's birthday, her and my dad were in the crowd. She was sitting amongst the American families. I blockered, I get a nice little shot to the captain, Joe Howard. One of the American mothers said something out loud, and my mother was not happy whatsoever. And she let her know that you shouldn't talk about my son that way. That was my debut. But you know what? The great thing is that first game, your family's so proud. It's a privilege, an absolute privilege to put that jersey on. And that's what the young guys will remember 20 years down the road when their careers are a long time over.
Okay, let's readjust our focus to the United States and Korea. Players on the ice now on both sides as we'll have a look at some of the key players to keep an eye on in this game. And starting with the Koreans, look no further than Sung-Hwan Jung, the man they call Rocket Man, back in Korea for his blistering speed, 36 years of age, and he's going to have to be good for the Koreans today.
Yeah, he's their best player by far. He's not a youngster at 36. But he is really smart. They will play extremely physical. What they have to do is they have to stop Farmer and Roybal, because if you allow Farmer and Roybal to get going, the game is going to be over pretty fast, Victor.
So Declan Farmer, 20 years old from Tampa, Florida. We saw him put up the 4 points now in the first game against Canada. A little bit of history for Declan Farmer with that as well, Paul.
Yeah, he breaks Joe Howard's record for the most points. Joe Howard, one of the best American players for a long time, was a captain. Now Farmer breaks his record on points. Tonight, Josh Paul's the captain, breaks his record for the most games.
So record-breaking night there for a couple of these American players who continue to set the pace for their team. We'll see lots of both of them tonight as players are on the ice inside National Indoor Stadium for Korea and the United States as we have a look to see how Team USA line up. It is a bit of a different look for them in this one. Paul Ralph Dickenbach, the veteran defenseman who sat out the first game against Team Canada, checks into the lineup, 38 years of age. He's a veteran. On the opposite end of the spectrum, you got Evan Nichols, just 17 years old. He's going to make his Paralympic debut today for the United States as Joseph Woodkey sits out, as does the other veteran, Kevin McKee.
And that reminds me of Salt Lake City in 2002 when we had 2 guys making their debuts, myself at 42 years old and Graham Murray at 15 years old. So para ice hockey is one of those few games, Victor, where you could be at the totally different ends of the spectrum. A guy in his 40s and a guy in his teens. Sometimes the guy in his 40s is old enough to be the father of the young guy. They actually called me Gramps when I played.
All right, well, you had a look there briefly at the starting goaltenders for this one. It's a battle of the Lees in this matchup. Jae-Woong Lee will be in the crease for the Koreans, and on the other side for the United States of America, it will be Jen Lee.
I'm pretty sure that the American coach at some point in this game will get his backup goalie in. This is the time to do it. You're not going to, there's no more games after this, so you don't want to get him in the semi, and you definitely don't want to get him in the gold medal game. if they have the chance to win their semi. You never count your chickens before they hatch. We did that in Vancouver and never played for the Bulls.
Griffin Lamar's the United States backup as we are underway in this game, and Jen Lee gets an early touch on it as the United States are back into their own zone. Just like that, after this game, the group stage will be over for Team USA. Of course, with RPC not allowed to compete, only 2 group stage games for each of Canada, Korea, and USA. So the United States will look to take care of business in this one. Then they'll get a number of days off before playing in the semifinal. If they win that, they find themselves directly into the gold medal final. So this could be a fairly short tournament for the USA with just 4 games, but looking to take home their 4th consecutive gold medal at the Paralympics in para ice hockey.
And right away, the Koreans have had 2 shots on goal. So they're leading 2-0, which is might not happen for a long time.
The stat that really matters right now, it is still 0-0 as the Korean netminder Lee gets out to cover this one up with the incoming pressure. He's going to get the whistle. Referee today, Danish, as we'll line up here to Lee's glove hand side.
And you know what I just noticed? An ironic twist. Both goalies are Lee. Both goalies are wearing 32.
That's correct. Numerical counterparts.
I wonder if they're related.
Jen Lee on the United States side. He was originally born in Taiwan, but now calls San Francisco, California home. Fluent in Mandarin as well.
Real nice guy, too. This might be a 3rd shot on goal. There you go. 3 shots.
Right in on Jen and Lee, and he's going to make a play on that. Former sergeant in the United States Army, Lee. Kind of a number serviceman on this USA team.
Koreans might want to stop the game right now after 3 shots to nothing.
On the far side, looking for it as Choi comes out loose toward the USA line and played right through the middle. And the slot, hustling over to it. David Eustace plays it off the boards, back over to the near side. De Quebec playing his first game of the tournament today. Right back around the boards and now picked up by the Koreans. Byung-Suk Cho sent it out to center.
Could have been too many men on the ice. I think it is.
Eustace just plays it back into his own zone. And it'll be handled here by Rico Roman.
Koreans got lucky there. That should be too many men on the ice.
Jack Wallace plays it ahead. Steered up to center by De Quebec. And shot right back in. Went off the stick of Dongxing Jiang.
Americans having a little trouble getting out of their zone. Referee takes one off the shoulder.
That was De Quebec on the clearing attempt. As the Koreans keep it in, only momentarily though. Skated back out to center. United States are on it. Rico Roman's cut off at the line. Picked up by Young-Jae Cho. Slowly brings it up over the line, and the Koreans are offside early on here in the first.
Well, I think right now the Americans might have a little bit of a sleepy start from a huge win last night, 5-0 over the Canadians. They know that they're talent-wise are much better than the Koreans, and they're actually having a tough time moving the puck, and that's one thing that the Americans never do. So they're going to take a few minutes to get themselves woken up right now, because right now it looks like they're sleeping a little, Victor.
Here's Josh Pauls. It did take them a little bit to get into the game against Canada as well. It wasn't until that penalty to Adam Dixon did the United States really get some offense going. They cashed in with a power play goal courtesy of Pauls.
Absolutely, here's a chance.
South Korea back the other way. Byung-Suk Cho taken out of the play. Trying to pick it up was Noah Grove. He's got it now. Plays it back behind his own net for Josh Pauls. Sees the pressure and airmails it out to center. Settled down by Roybal. Here they come. The United States in over the line. Jones and Roybal. Roybal still got it. Takes the shot, and that doesn't get through.
The Korean defenseman played that absolutely perfect. Stay right in the middle.
Here's another shot incoming. That one's turned aside by the goaltender Lee. Travis Dodson with the chance. That was the defenseman Young Sung Kim who blocked that first opportunity for Korea. Basically 2 goaltenders there in the crease. Here's another shot that's lasered high by Roybal.
He has an absolute cannon.
USA is starting to find their offensive footing now as Declan Farmer hands off. Into the corner, it's Grove. Skates around in search of it. Farmer guides it off the end boards. Over to the far side, Mashevich. Back to the line. Now Wallace under siege. Managed to pass off to Evan Nichols, getting his first shift at the Paralympics with USA. Here's Wallace with a shot. What a bullet that was. Off the bar and in. Jack Wallace, within the first 5 minutes of the first period, gives USA a 1-0 lead.
That was a picture-perfect goal. The Americans started to move the puck around real beautiful. Nice pass over. Waits, and lets a cannon go. No chance for the Korean goalie Lee. Right, you couldn't have placed it in a better spot. Absolutely perfect. And Wallace, he has impressed me. In game 1 against the Canadians, he had an incredible game, and he starts out real well too. The young Lee, well, he's not young, he's an older guy. So old Lee, let's put it that way, on Korea. You got nothing to hold your head down about that one. That was just a beautiful shot.
Picture perfect from Jack Wallace, who had a couple goals at the World Championships in 2021 in Ostrava, Czech Republic. En route to a gold medal for the United States, then although did not register a goal against Canada, did have 2 assists. So he's got his first goal of the tournament now. And what a laser that was. That's tough for any goaltender anywhere in the world to make the save on.
No, he just placed it in the perfect spot.
And Wallace looking for more here, but he comes in over the line offside. Almost exactly 5 minutes gone in the first.
And that's the biggest difference for people watching that might have watched the games back in the day, you know, in 2002, even in 2006, Salt Lake City and Torino. Back then you had 1 or 2 key players. This American team, there's so much talent. Obviously, Farmer and Roybal are the cream of the crop. But then they have so many guys, their secondary scoring, and that's what you need, especially in an NHL team. You need secondary scoring. They've got guys from top to bottom that can play.
So Jack Wallace with the goal, and it's a 1-0 lead for the USA.
Take it all in. Show up early, stay late. Live your passion. Get out, get in, do more. Hold. Get the bag, keep one packed. Don't put it off. Because when we make it count, we rise higher.
Group stage action from Beijing 2022 Paralympics between South Korea and the United States of America. And it's the heavy favorites, the USA right now, who are up 1-0 early in this game. This is the 4th meeting all time between South Korea and USA at the Paralympics. United States have won the first 3, outscoring the South Koreans 16-0.
Which is actually, when you think about it, not bad. The Koreans have played them fairly well.
Only one of those games has really been a complete blow. That was an 8-0 final. First met up at the Paralympics in Vancouver 2010. It was a 5-0 win for Team USA.
Yeah, they haven't played a long time, the Koreans. They put a lot of money into their grassroots program, so you're going to start to see some young Koreans, and that's the only way the game grows, is you have to put the infrastructure into the young talent. That's what the Canadians do. That's what the Americans do.
Face off here at the dot is won back by Jung Ho Jang. USA trying to keep it in the offensive zone. Zitch along the near side boards. There's Rico Roman. He's going to hustle after this first 2. It takes the shots. And Lee, flashing the leather, makes the glove hand save and hangs on for the whistle.
That was a nice stop. And what you're going to see with these 2 goalies also, Lee and Lee, they both have their legs out. And I'd like to explain that to people watching the game. Is a lot of the goalies now will have their leg, especially the amputee, one-legged amputee, like both goalies on Canada, LaRocque and Kingsmill, they have their leg tucked under. That's how I played the game. You can be more square to the puck. So you have a guy like Lee and Lee who have their leg out. it makes it a little trickier when somebody geeks you.
Here's Paul's looking to center. That one's picked off. USA stay with it. Paul's another shot. Lee the save, and the puck is clear to the end boards. Flurry of offensive activity here for the United States as Brody Roybal handles it high in the zone. Plays it right back around the boards. The Americans were off to a sleepy start. They're certainly awake now.
A lot of sticks on the ice right now.
Back the other way. Pauls looks to take this away. Staying on it with Siwoo Choi. And South Korea forced the turnover. Sung Hwan Jung sends it right in on Jen Lee, and he smothers that for the whistle.
We actually saw when Lee made that stop, his leg being out, he tipped over and made the play. So in a situation like that, Victor, he's got a good angle on the puck because his leg is out. The problem is when somebody has a clear-cut chance on him, all they have to do is give a real good head fake, a little shimmy, and they can deke him, and that's where having your leg in, tucked in, will give you a chance to be more square to the puck.
USA bring it out to center, and they've got speed and numbers here in transition. Along the near side, Farmer passes it across, trying to connect with the youngster Nichols. Here's Farmer still up the middle. Back and forth, Farmer takes the shot, and from point blank range ends up missing. And a bullet dodged for the South Koreans is behind the net. Mishevich. A couple real talented players out there, Mishevich and Farmer. Out with Nichols making his Paralympic debut. Already got an assist on his first shift in the game at just 17 years old.
Yeah, and this is what the Koreans are going to have to do now, is just get rid of the puck. The Americans are starting to do, you might remember this, some of our older viewers will definitely, the Harlem Globetrotters.
Oh, yes.
They're starting to Harlem Globetrot the Koreans, moving the puck back and back, and the Koreans are going to get frustrated very soon.
I'm not that young, Paul. That's still a relevant reference for me. Is they pile up in front. D. Quebec in from the line. Tries to shove it through. Matter of fact, that was David Eustace coming in. And the referee here lost sight of the puck. Closed the play down. Where is the puck?
I think it was under the pad of Lee.
And massive humanity in the crease there.
Yeah, that's another thing that Lee does. He has both his legs, but one has a pad and one doesn't. And that could be tricky if he gets into a situation where he gets spiked.
Here's another look. Referee's in prime position to make the call.
See how the sled was pushed against the post? That leg that has no protection could get seriously injured.
And whistle right off the play. Korean Young-jae Cho will take a minute to reset.
Glove pass, and that's what we saw in the Canadian-American game. Because they're skating with their hands, their sticks and gloves are down on the ice. Very easy to make a glove pass. You don't see that happen in the NHL very often, but in para ice hockey, you see it all the time. The referee could warn if it's the same player doing it over and over again, he will warn him and eventually give him a unsportsmanlike conduct penalty.
Off the face-off. Lifted off the boards, not out by South Korea. Second time does the trick, though, as Pauls couldn't handle it. Back over the line. Siwoo Choi is rubbed out of the play. And picked right back up by USA. Kyle Zitch plays it ahead. Rico Roman racing after it. Pauls drives the middle lane for the United States. He doesn't get the pass, though. Locked up here along the end boards. Roman digging for it. Jung Kyung Lee from South Korea is in there as well with his teammate Sung Hwan Jung.
Puck's tied up under the sled, and that's where it gets tricky.
And finally, the puck is jarred free. Collision on the near side as it's played right back around for D. Quebec, who's waiting for it. Man they call Wreck-It Ralph plays it right back around. Near side again. This time it's Wallace stepping up to keep the play alive. He does. Gets the pass here from Roybal. Wallace looks to play it right back up the middle. Still loose. Shot from D. Quebec is lasered over top of the net.
Looks like everybody's trying to go under the bar, get that beautiful goal.
Here's Jones. Passes off for Dodson. Malik Jones couldn't gather it again, so it's D. Quebec who takes a bump coming in from the line from Young Jae Cho. And back out through the neutral zone, Jack Wallace into his own end.
Wallace seems to be all over the ice.
Dodson along the near side, cut off just as he crossed the line by Kwang Hook Choi. Now through the middle, here's Wallace to his forehand, and he's done it again. Jack Wallace strikes twice in the first period of play, and USA have a 2-0 lead.
I think we're going to be talking about the long flowing locks of number 8, Jack Wallace. Wow, this kid can play. He cuts through the middle, doesn't panic, gets the puck down, and beats Lee to the glove side. Real good player. Man, it's I had hair like that, Victor, back in 1975. Long time ago.
Yeah, Jack Wallace, everything seems to be working for him right now. He had a great first game. Now he's getting the goals here in game number 2, and he's looking good through all of it.
Absolutely.
So Josh Paul's back into his own zone, as Wallace has a pair. And the United States starting to pull away here. We're halfway gone now in this first period of play.
Jack Wallace plays for the New Jersey Devils sled hockey team. The New Jersey Devils NHL team might want to take a look at him.
Originally from Franklin Lakes, New Jersey. Knows the area very well. Grew up idolizing Martin Brodeur. Great New Jersey Devil and a great Canadian Olympian as well.
Absolutely, and a great person. Oh, look at this.
Chance in front, scores! Josh Misiewicz cleans it up on the pass from Declan Farmer, and it's a 3-0 lead for USA.
Tell you one thing, for Boston Bruin fans out there, Misiewicz has that little look like Brad Marchand after he scores a goal, and upsets a lot of players, but he scores. Here it is, Farmer again, throws it. Nice play. Misiewicz takes it. He's got, he's got technically 3 goals, even though he has 2. They took one away from him, and all 3 right around the same area, right in front of the garbage area, in front of the goalie.
I was just going to say that. That's where Misiewicz had his, what would have been second of the game against Canada, take it away on the goal review. They ruled that he nudged the puck over the line with his glove. Can't do that, so that's why he's only got 2 so far in the tournament after that last one. He's not afraid to get dirty in front of the net, and he's been rewarded here with a couple goals. Yep. So Misiewicz has another. Jack Wallace has 2 in the game already for the United States, and as it stands, they lead by 3.
Hey, the gold medal event's on soon.
It is?
Yeah.
The event's about to start!
I gotta get home! Or we can just watch it on the 5TV app.
Watch anywhere on any device with the 5TV app.
Now the Koreans talking things over here in front of their bench. Their head coach for this tournament is Min Soo Han, who played at 3 Paralympics for Korea in 2010, 14, and 18. Matter of fact, he was the flag bearer for South Korea at the Vancouver 2010 Paralympics.
I remember those games very well. As an athlete, to have an opportunity to have your games in your own country doesn't happen very often. It's a huge, huge, huge honor.
Well, the Koreans had that in 2018, where they won bronze, their first ever Paralympic medal. Even though it wasn't gold, that had to be massive for them.
Oh, it was like a gold for them, absolutely.
South Korea back in their own zone here, but USA threatening. Roman skates up to it first. Takes some contact as he passes off for Eustace. Looks to defer in front for Pauls. That missed. Now back to center ice comes Sung Hwang Jung. Jung in over the line. Gives it up. Back in transition comes Noah Grove. He's taken out of the play though, no shot. Shoveled away by Jung Kyung Lee. And a bouncing puck. That's smothered down by the goaltender, Jae Woong Lee.
I think what the Koreans have to do, Victor, is that opportunity where the Korean player had it just coming up into the American zone. There's Rico Roman with a shot, blocked. Nice grab. But you have to take shots, so they're not going to get many shots 10, 15 feet out. So when you're coming towards the blue line, take a shot. Anything's possible. I tell you one thing, you can't score if you don't shoot. So give it a chance, get a shot on Lee and see what happens.
Shoveled over to the near side. In from the line is Jack Wallace. Passes off for Roybal. Got some space away from Farmer. As Roybal looks to carry it through. Passes off for Jones. Wallace tries to throw it out in front as it's clear to the end boards. Wallace taps it right back off the boards for Declan Farmer. Now Farmer looks to drive the front of the net. Passes over. Roybal the shot and he scores. 4 in the first period for USA. Second of the tournament for Brody Roybal.
And that's one thing that a lot of these American players can do. They put that puck up fast. They put it up hard. They put it under the bar, and they make it extremely difficult for a goaltender. I don't care who the goalie is. When you're in that close and you put that puck up under the bar, look at this play right here. Malik Jones is looking for the puck. Roybal has it. He waits. No chance for Lee. He's 5 feet out. The only thing Lee could have done is maybe come out a little more. He's way back in his blue paint, and as a goaltender, you really have to come out and force the player to shoot it over you. When you're back in the net, it makes it a little easier, although he really didn't have a chance on that one.
So Brody Roybal's off to another hot start this year after being a dynamic player for USA at the 2018 Paralympics, where he was the best forward, tournament MVP, had 17 points in that tournament, 10 goals, including a couple hat tricks. And Farmer wins this face-off over for awaiting Jack Wallace. Plays it ahead. Hustling after it is Josh Mashevitz. Comes around the boards to the near side for Dick Quebec. Down low for Farmer, looking for an option. Farmer might just shoot it, but take it out of the play. Penalty here upcoming as Farmer does get the shot away, blocked by 2 Korean defenders in front. And eventually South Korea does touch it up, and the United States will go to the power play.
And that should be our first time seeing the penalty teeing as he cut the front of the sled into the American player's sled. It's a little dangerous play here. Look, he is there. There, he's used the sled as a weapon. Knocks Farmer over. That's where you can really cause some damage to the player's foot, ankle. And the problem is with a lot of the players who don't have feeling in their legs, that's where you can cause some damage and you don't know what's happening until later on when the team doctor looks at you.
So Young-Jae Cho is in the box for South Korea as Roybal plays it over. USA back on the power play. It was Paul's at the power play marker against Canada in game number 1. Declan Farmer retreats to center. Picks up some speed, makes a move past one, but the pick there from Sung Hwang Jung was enough to throw Farmer off his mark, and that puts USA in offside.
But they're having fun. You see there, Farmer starts smiling. It's obviously easy to have fun when you're winning.
Right.
Very difficult to have fun when you're losing a bit on both ends of that. But that's where they're enjoying themselves. They're getting ready. They're going to have a couple of days off before their semifinal. I'm going to say right now their semifinal is going to be against the Czech Republic.
Group B is interesting, especially with China getting a big 7-0 win over Slovakia. It kind of opens up all the possibilities. As Roybal plays this one over now for Pauls. He'll settle it down with 45 seconds gone, and the American 5-on-4. Here's Farmer now. Through the slot, plays it over for Wallace, and that shot ramps up off the end glass. It's centered again. Here's Wallace again. This time the shot is right at the goaltender. And the save is made by Jae-Woong Lee.
Trying to get Wallace's hat trick in the first period. I think he's had like 6 shots on goal already.
That last look on the power play. Under a minute to go in it now.
Oh, that was a nice little deflection.
That was Roybal who got his stick on it.
Yep.
2:20 here to go in the first period of play. This one's wrapped around the boards. And over to the near side. Bishevich was taken out. Koreans recovered. Shot right back at Bishevich, and it's got enough steam on it to get out to center, where Josh Pauls is waiting for it. Passes up for Roybal. Makes a move past one. That was Siwoo Choi in there for the Koreans. Comes around the end boards now for Jack Wallace. Wallace over to Roybal. Out of the far side, Farmer. Slides it over for Pauls, takes a shot and a nice save. Jae-Woong Lee gets over to take it away.
He's a big goalie, so if you catch him down low, he's going to make that stop. You want to go up high under the bar on him, like all the goals have gone in.
Here's Farmer. Lob pass up the middle for Wallace. Power play expires, back to even strength hockey. Farmer sweeps that one right in, and Lee makes a save on that as well. As it comes out to the line, just held in by Bishevich. Passes over here in the slot. Reaching back for this one is Wallace, and there it is. 3 in the first period for Jack Wallace. It's another beauty up high, and USA extend the lead to 5-0.
Yeah, I might start to go into the guessing what's happening in games, or start my own little business here. Under the bar, every goal has been under the bar. You're not going to score on Lee. He's a big goalie. He cuts down a lot of the net with his chest and his pad and his stick. But where he has problem is under the bar. And Wallace with 3 already. Nobody's throwing a, well, there's not a lot of people in the crowd, but you'd figure somebody would throw a hat on the ice.
I don't see any out there.
No.
But that is a hat trick for Jack Wallace. I don't know if there's many people there wearing hats, at least by my eye, Paul.
Yeah, that's true.
Did you bring yours? I don't have one on me. So.
I did not. I did not.
Nice little glove save there in the final minute of play in this first period from Lee.
Well, as far as the first 5 minutes in this period went, the Koreans had to be extremely happy with the way they were playing. The problem is the Americans are so good, and in the last 7 minutes, they put 5 in.
That shot just whistles wide off the faceoff. Held in at the far side by Eustace. Now held up along the boards there with Roman. Eustace has it again. Dodges one. Eustace to the front of the net. Lee makes a save low. That was Kyle Zitch in front, recipient of that pass, and the save keeps it at 5-0 USA.
Yeah, you're not going to score on him down low, but this is going to be an opportunity, I think, where now the Americans can really work on some things, move the puck around. They know this game's well in hand. I'm going to say the third period, the Americans will make the change for the young rookie goaltender.
I was just going to ask that, second or third period?
I think they're going to give Lee one more period, and they'll put the goalie in the third period. You still want Lee to get his action, but he's going to have 2 days off before the semifinal. And you remember, he was the backup for years. Steve Cash was the guy that played 99% of the games. He's probably home in Missouri watching right now.
16 years with the United States national team for Steve Cash before calling it a career. USA pushing for one more late marker. Back to the line. Quebec shot sails high. And just over top of the net, off the glass, as the horn sounds. And the first 15 minutes of play are in the books. And a strong first period of play for the United States of America, who come out offensive guns flashing early and put up 5 against South Korea.
The Canadian Para Ice Hockey Show, brought to you by Petro-Canada. At Petro-Canada, we're proud supporters of Canada's coaches and athletes.
stronger finish here. Shot just getting inside the gate. Now there's that smile again.
Train for your true calling with the Canadian Armed Forces. A message from the Government of Canada.
Let them say we're crazy. I don't care about that. Put your hand in mine, baby. Don't ever look back. And we can build this dream together. Standing strong forever. Nothing's gonna stop us now. Nothing's gonna stop us now.
Yeah, you're doing it. Slowly.
This really is the stuff of Olympic dreams.
Ryan, we have found that you have a condition known as Stargardt macular degeneration. There is no treatment.
Right. Tree.
Toyota. Start your impossible.
I'm here to prove that if you can see it, you can be it.
I survived cancer. The mountains, they don't scare me.
Losing my sight hasn't stopped me from going for gold.
When more of us play, more of us win. Visa, a network working for everyone.
After the first 15 minutes of play in the first period in the Bucks, strong offensive start for the United States of America. They currently find themselves leading 5-0 over South Korea in this group stage game. Jack Wallace is certainly the man of the period. Not only did he have a hat trick, 3 goals, he had an assist as well. So Wallace playing a factor in 4 of those 5 American goals. But not only is Jack Wallace one of the top American players on the ice, he's one of the top Americans on social media too, with his TikTok videos.
So in sled hockey, you actually use 2 sticks. These are made by Warrior. They're 1 pieces. They have some nice USA print on it for the guys on the national team. On one end, you have the blade, which you use to stick handle and shoot, and you hold them down here at this end to stick handle and shoot with. And then at the other end, you have these metal ice picks. They're pretty sharp and they're pretty dangerous when you're out on the ice, and you dig them into the ice and skate with your arms.
Okay, so the main difference between a player with a leg or 2 legs like me over here with 1 leg, my right side is enclosed, versus a guy with no legs like my teammate Brody right here, where his sled is completely enclosed just like my right side is. Basically his jersey's covering it, but imagine this is just completely enclosed like my side is right here. So that means our frames are going to be different lengths because he obviously doesn't have a foot out here that he is going to have to hold. So there is a minimum sled length that's required, and basically if you're a double amputee, you're going to be at that minimum. So my sled is almost twice as long. So what that means is I'm going to be harder to get around on defense, but at the same time, I'm going to be a lot less agile because of all that added length.
Guys, this is my sled. It's what I use to play sled hockey, and as you can see, it is pretty beat up and worn out, and there's actually a huge crack right here in the front. So I got a brand new one, and I'm going to show you guys how we do that.
So the first step of the process is to cast your hips and your legs to get the initial mold that the bucket is going to be made out of. This is very similar to the process they use to make prosthetics, actually. They use plaster paper, which they dip in water, lay out, and then it hardens over time. Now, once you're done getting casted, they actually can turn this into what they call a test socket. Now, this is a clear plastic because you got to be able to see what's going on the inside, and you can also heat it up with a heat gun and adjust it. Here I am talking to Dave Rotter, the prosthetist that makes this for us, and this is a multi-day process of making all these little tweaks to get it just right, exactly how you want it. So once we get it all adjusted how we like it, it's time to make the final bucket. Now what you can see here is them putting on the USA print like you see all the national team players have on their buckets. Once that's ready to go, we pick up that hot plastic that just came out of the oven, and as you can see, it's basically melting. And then we put it over that final mold that we got from the test socket. This part is so important to be careful because you can't leave any wrinkles in the bucket whatsoever, because this is the final product. This is what my bucket will be made out of. As you can see, they use their hands to press it into the mold to get it just right. Little behind the scenes magic from then to now, but they finalized the bucket, got it mounted to a frame so I could get on the ice and try it out.
So thanks to Jack Wallace there for some great insight on what goes into the equipment and preparations and getting all ready for all these players, not just the American players as well, but players all over the world. Paul Rosen is our resident TikToker as well. You're active on the social media platform, but I do want to ask you about the equipment though. We saw Jack do a great job of explaining it there. How has the equipment changed from when you played to now?
Oh my God, that was incredible. So that was like when you're missing your leg, your prosthetist makes your socket. I just got a new socket. Very similar, but as far as the sled goes, Victor, it is enormously changed from back in the day to now. The player's equipment is state of the art. Back when I played, you could have got into any corner store, picked up stuff, and it was never custom made to you. You custom made your bottom to the sled, and that's the way it was. Now everything from the Warrior sticks, everything is put together for the player so the player could play at the highest level. Hats off to Jack Wallace for doing that, to get the general public to understand what a player has to go through to play at the highest level.
Well, there's a lot that goes into it, both on and off the ice as well. The equipment managers are just as important as a lot of these players are in terms of getting the equipment ready for these players to excel at the highest level possible.
Absolutely. Equipment managers in the NHL are vital to the players. At this level, they're even more vital because there's so many other things that have to be done. It's not just skates. There's sleds, there's sticks, there's so many different things because everybody is playing with a disability. And at some point after the game, you can't just get yourself showered and leave. You got to make sure that your body is in good shape to get back to the village or the hotel, get ready to play the next day.
All right, well, Jack Wallace is going to like what he's skating with right now. The equipment's clearly working for him in this game. He's got 3 goals and 1 assist. Right now, it's 5-0 for the United States of America after 1 period of play. We'll take a break, be back with more after this.
Gatorade, with electrolytes to help replenish what's lost in sweat. Carbs to help fuel your working muscles. And fluids to help you hydrate. Rehydrate, replenish, refuel. Scientifically formulated so you never stop competing. Gatorade.
To tackle climate change, we all need to do our part. That's why the Government of Canada is taking action to help protect our environment. We're reducing plastic waste. We're making our homes and buildings more energy efficient. We're building a cleaner, greener economy. Find out how you can help leave a healthier environment for our kids and grandkids. A message from the Government of Canada.
excited or are you scared?
Yeah.
You'll be okay.
Courage. What we learn from play, we learn for life.
First win, but not the last. Check. Into the spotlight. Check. Injured and out. Check. Prove them wrong. Check. Worth it? Always. When you find what moves you, it gets you through.
You can now get anything delivered with Uber Eats, but take it from me, that doesn't mean you can eat anything you get. Burger, that is an eats. Paper towels, don't eats. Bottle of vino, eats by drinking. Nanas, eats every morning. Dog toy, don't eat unless you're a good boy. Toothpaste, that's a stumper. This game just got really hard. It's an eats, but it's a don't swallows.
Start your impossible. Toyota, proud sponsor of the Olympic and Paralympic Games.
Moments away from the start of the second period of play in this group stage game at National Indoor Stadium between USA and Korea. After one period of play, a dominant showing for the United States. They put up 17 shots. They score on 5 of them, Paul. Not the quickest start. It did take a couple minutes for the United States to settle into this game, but once they did, clearly by far and away the better team.
Yeah, the first 3-4 minutes, I was very impressed with the Koreans, the way they were playing. Unfortunately, that's going to end at some point because the Americans are so talented, and they prove that by moving the puck around, getting some great chances. Jack Wallace with 3 beauties. Roybal is playing great. Josh Pauls is playing great. Declan Farmer is playing great. Basically no shots on their goaltender, all from outside in the neutral zone. The only thing the Americans don't want to do is get sloppy because they have a couple days off, then they'll get a fairly easy semi, and then they're going to get a gold medal test. So do not get sloppy.
And for South Korea, what are you looking to try and get out of the next 2 periods of this game from their side?
I think the biggest thing they want to do is get some shots on goal, get some confidence. They don't want to lose 12, 13, 14, nothing, because they're going to turn around and get the Canadians. And ultimately, I think they know they have a chance to play for another bronze, and that a bronze to Korea is their gold. So don't get frustrated. Don't take silly penalties. Get themselves ready, because they are going to get a chance to go home with some hardware.
This is a South Korean team that won their first Paralympic medal in 2018 with the bronze at home. The 2 years prior to that, they finished 7th in Sochi and 6th in Vancouver. Vancouver 2010 was the first ever Paralympic tournament this South Korean para ice hockey team ever played in. Been in a number of world championships as well. Matter of fact, have a silver for the world championship in 2012. They found themselves in the final that year where they lost to the United States. Still a young program, lots of growth to be had, but on a decent trajectory so far, Paul.
Yeah, that was a game where the Canadians lost to the Americans in the semifinal. It usually doesn't happen that they play each other in the semifinal. Both leads are in goal, Victor, and I do believe that both of them, I'm going to say, are going to rest the third, and Korea and the United States will go to their backup goalies for the third game, giving them a little rest because Mr. Lee on the Korean side is going to be tested against an angry Canadian team. I guarantee you that.
That's right. After losing 5-0 to America in game number 1, Team Canada is going to be looking to try and right the ship. They've only got 2 group stage games before they're into the semifinals, so not a whole lot of time to try and make tweaks and fix things.
And the way this tournament is set up, it looks like the Canadians will get the Koreans back to back.
That's just, oh, here's a chance developing in front for the United States. David Eustace has his shot stopped. That's assuming, of course, the Koreans get through to the quarter, or rather to the semifinal. They'll likely have to play a quarterfinal game as well.
You are correct there. And that quarterfinal game might not be so easy the way the Chinese and the
Czech team.
Czechs are playing right now. That was, I just was watching a play develop in the corner there. Nice pass by the Americans and a nice stop. The more they go on the ice, the Canadians are probably watching this and knowing, we're not going to go on Lee on the ice. We have to go upstairs.
This one smothered at the side of the Korean net. Of course, that all goes under the premise that Canada will beat South Korea in their final group stage game, which is likely given previous results of the past. But the quarterfinals are a little bit unpredictable this year, Paul, again, given what we've seen early in the tournament in Group B.
You just never know, and I'll keep going back to the games that happened in Vancouver 2010. The Japanese team beat the Canadian team that I was on. It's the first time in years and years and years, so you just never know. You have a bad game, the puck doesn't bounce your way, you get a few penalties. You never can say 100% it's going to happen. I just saw the shots on goal. They have it at the Americans with 18 and the Koreans with 0. That can't be, because we've seen the Koreans go a couple of shots on goal.
Here's Farmer. Sauces this one over to his left side. No shot, though, from Nichols, and flings this one just off the mark.
Great defensive play there to block that shot.
Wallace passes up for Farmer. Now he's got some space, and a big blocker save by Lee. Fights that one off.
That was a real nice stop.
Dika back plays it along the end boards behind the net. Good hit on Josh Bashevitz, separates him from the puck. Back up the near side again. It comes all the way through center ice. Icing charged to Korea.
One of the key differences between able-bodied goaltenders and para-ice hockey goaltenders, Victor, is it's very, very, very difficult in able-bodied hockey. Look at that nice stop to go over the goaltender's head. You go over the goaltender's head in able-body, it's going over the net. In para-ice hockey, you can score over the goaltender's head and under the bar, and the hardest shot to stop for a goalie is right by his ear, because you can't get your blocker or your catching glove up fast enough, and that's where the best players in the world will aim for.
David Eustace tracking this one down on the far side. Looks back to the line where it's picked up by Josh Pauls. Trying to open up some space. He passes for Roman. Puck trickles down to the end boards again. Pass Eustace to the line, just over it. This is lobbed right back in by Noah Grove on the goaltender Lee. Some muscle down the ice now by Kwang Hyuk Choi. Right back after it is Grove. Handles it ahead for Roman. Leads Eustace with the pass. They missed him, but he picks it right back up anyway. Eustace along the near side with Rico Roman, who slides a shot in. That's blocked by the defender in front. Young Jae Cho passes it up for the Rocket Man, Seung Hwan Jung. Here comes Jung, takes the shot, just misses. Penalty on the play. This will be against the United States as it touches up here.
It's gonna go against 15, I'm pretty sure, interference as he tried to take out the Korean coming down the far side. If it is, that'll be a second penalty. He got a penalty against the States, against Canada, pardon me. Is he giving Josh Paul? No, they're in the middle. Right in the middle. 37.
David Eustace in the box for USA.
Making some camera time for us there. Giving us a smile. Even though the Koreans have the power play here, watch the Americans go on attack, trying to get a shorthanded goal. They do this better than anybody.
Chance for the Americans here to work on their penalty kill too, if anything. Might come in handy later on in the tournament as Roybal passes it ahead. Here they go, short-handed on the attack. It's a low shot that's handled by Lee. Travis Dodson with the attempt. And up goes the captain, Jung Ho Jang, to center with the pass. And in Quebec skates it down. Off the boards, right back in. Trouble in front. And Jung able to defuse the opportunity as he throws it around. That was nearly a disaster for Korea in their own zone. Now 4-on-5. USA set up at the offensive zone. Roybal lobs it across. Banked off the boards down the ice, and this will be...
No, you think he
no
waved it
icing.
off.
Jack Wallace throws it all the way down. Americans will catch up to it first. It's Declan Farmer. Tried to center it. And Korea on the breakout. Jong over to the near side. Jong throws it right back in. Pauls. Couldn't clear it. Sung-Hwan Jung knocked down. Cross ice pass picked off by Farmer. Minute 45 gone now in the Korean power play. And Declan Farmer stick handles neatly in over the Korean line. Up the middle there was Bishevich, taken away by South Korea. And this is rolled down the ice. Eustace is out of the box, back to the ice as the Koreans get called here on icing.
That was what you call a picture-perfect penalty kill. Young coaches out there, if you're watching, that's how you do it. You take as much time off the clock as possible. Do not let the opposing team that has the power play get anywhere near your net. Every shot has to come from outside, from the corners. Don't give them any chance to get the middle, to gain the middle of the net, and that's why the Americans are so good.
Here's Zitch with a shot. That one just missed by a hair as it comes back around for Pauls on the far side. Nudges it low in the zone again. Kwang Bok Choi passed it over for Young Jae Cho. And at center, Young Suk Cho throws it in as it drifts over to the near side. Noah Grove back over to the far side, where Byung Suk Cho sends it right back around from where it came. Pass up the center, finds Eustace. Has to scramble back into his own end to control it. Hounded here along the far side by Siwoo Choi. Loose at center, taken by Pauls. Leads it in over the line. Josh Pauls up the middle, lost the handle on it though before he could take the shot. Collision right up the middle as the puck is cleared out to center again. Chance developing now for Jung on Korea. Loose in front of the net, and Jen Lee gets out, reaches out with the glove to reel it in and gets the whistle. Another chance for Seung Hwang Jung.
Yeah, a little bit of sportsmanship there by Jen Lee. Jen Lee might have the easiest 2 potential shutouts in his young career. Didn't get many chances. Maybe the toughest one yesterday against the Canadians was Adam Dixon's shot. Nice little play by D. Quebec to knock him off the puck, and Lee comes out and no chance there. Puts the glove down, uses a stick as a shield. Has been the best opportunity all game.
So Lee gets the whistle, and the United States stay ahead 5-0.
Teamwork. What we learn from play, we learn
Face
from
off
life.
here to the glove hand side of American goalie Jen Lee. And off the draw, Declan Farmer takes it. Drills in behind his own net. If you're just joining us, 5 goals in the first period of play from the United States. 3 of them courtesy of Jack Wallace, who has an assist as well. And here comes Dick Quebec right up the middle, and he's had a couple shots in this one. And he sent all of them high, as he did right there. Knows what he wants to do, just can't find the mark.
Just trying to get 2 perfect, actually.
Suppose you can afford that, though, too, when you're up by 5.
Good hustle by the Koreans to beat that icing.
Bae-Suk Choi managed to beat out the icing as Roybal sends it back around for Wallace along the near side boards. Farmer. Stick handles it up to center. Now Roybal carries it in over the line. Just to scoop it across. This one floats right in on Jae-Woong Lee, and he smothers that for the whistle.
It's a little bit of a crazy comment I'm going to make here. You would think the way the Americans are moving the puck, Victor, me saying that they're playing a little sloppy might be crazy, but they're playing a little sloppy. They're trying to get a little too cute and losing the puck. Roybal had a perfect chance to walk straight through the middle. Instead, he tried to make a juke to the left, and you don't want to get sloppy when you have 2 days off.
Here's Josh Pauls with it in the slot. No angle to shoot, so he passes off. It's delivered down low for Farmer. Farmer plays it back up high in the zone for Grove. Grove, nice move to find some space. Pass up the middle for Farmer, and he fires it wide. Back to the line again. It's Josh Pauls. Passes it down low. Mashevich in front, and that rolls just wide as well. Farmer's after it. And he wins the battle, centers it again for Mashevich, and Jae-Woong Lee once more sprawls out to make the save and hangs on.
Yeah, Mashevich had that was a little too far out for him to score. Normally he's within 1.5 feet, so that was a little too far out here. Look at this, here he is here.
That was the shot from Farmer. It carries just wide.
Just missed it.
And it was Mashevich on the follow-up chance there in front.
But if you watch them, they isolate them on the bench. They're having fun.
Here's Zitch with a shot. That one's right in on Lee, and he catches that as well. That's the name of the game, isn't it, Paul? This, for some of these players, might be a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Of course, though, for many, they've already done it before, and this might be their last opportunity.
You never know when you get a chance, and I try to emphasize this to anybody that I'm talking to that's had the chance to play for their country. Enjoy it, because you may never get another chance, and it is a true honor to play for your country.
Here's Zitch. Tries to shovel that one in on net. In the corner it comes for Young-Jae Cho. Centering feed again, knocked down by Eustace, but it can't redirect it toward the net over the goal line. And elevated through center. De Quebec racing after it. Pressured by Young-Jae Cho, he takes it away. Flips it out through center. This could be icing against the United States, and it is the first back for it is Seung-Hwan Jung.
You know what I would love to see? I would love to see the Michigan play. Roybal and Farmer can do it. I've seen them in practice. They can take the puck with the blade of their stick, and they can turn it up and fire it in like the Michigan play, made famous by a couple of boys on the Anaheim Ducks.
Trevor Zegras, Sonny Milano connected on a highlight reel goal.
It could happen in this game. You just never know.
Would love to see it as David Eustace out of the corner plays it behind the net where Zitch controls it. Brings it over to the near side. What's the best goal you've ever seen before in para ice hockey, Paul?
By far, it's the easiest, by far, pardon me, it's the easiest one. The second goal in the 3-0 win for Canada that I was fortunate to be on the team in Torino, Italy, when Brad Bowden took the puck, went around pretty well everybody, and threw it over behind the net to Greg Westlake.
Here's Jones with his shot, and right on cue, Malik Jones throws one into the back of the net. It's his second of the tournament. USA are up 6-0.
Yeah, and I'm a big fan of this Malik Jones. He scored his first goal yesterday in a nice deflection. He's got a lot of talent. He's a young kid. Look at this here. Good puck movement by the Americans. Takes it over Jones, and Lee gave himself a little too much in the net. He got caught too much on the short side. He had no chance to the blocker side, but Jones, with a lot of poise for a young kid, and he throws it up under the bar. He's going to be on this team a long time, Victor. We're going to be talking about him in Italy in 2026 and in 2030, wherever the games are.
Might be right here in Canada.
That would be nice.
So 2 games and 2 goals at the Paralympics for Malik Jones of Aurora, Colorado. The lone assist there coming from another rookie in Kyle Zitch of South Hadley, Massachusetts. And USA staying in control here. So far with the only goal of the second period. Going back to that goal though from 2006, that was a massive one at the time because it made the game 2-0, Paul. And was it an empty netter that put it to bed and the 3-0 score? Here's Roybal, meanwhile, coming in.
Yeah, Billy Bridges scored with 4 seconds left to make it 3-0.
Roybal with it again, up the middle. Takes some contact there as he gets the shot away and will at least draw a penalty out of the play as he centers it again. Drifts all the way back to the line out to center.
Going to be a high stick on the Korean. Jen Lee gets out of the net for a 6th attacker.
Here's Roybal out of the corner, centers it again, bouncing around. Pauls couldn't settle it down. Pushes it over for Roybal. Up the boards. Grove. His pass finds Farmer. And finally it's touched up by the Koreans. So with 3:42 to go in period number 2, USA to the power play.
Now those goals in Torino by the Canadians, that was a complete line effort. Goal number 1 was Bowden from Bridges and Westlake. Goal number 2 was Westlake from Bowden and Bridges. And goal number 3 was Bridges from Bowden and Westlake. They were the number one line in the world.
So 6-0 here for the United States. They're going to the power play here shortly.
Take it all in. Show up early. Stay late. Live your passion. Get out. Get in. Do more. Hold. Get the bag. Keep one packed. Don't put it off. Because when we make it count, we rise higher.
So it is Sung Hwang Jung in the box for Korea. That will grant the United States a 5-on-4 advantage for 2 minutes or less as we transition into the late stages of the second period.
I'm impressed with the coaching job of the U.S. getting all of his players in the game, and sometimes that's a tough thing.
Had a couple players that weren't dressed in game 1 against Canada checking into the lineup today, that being defenseman Ralph de Quebec, as well as the youngster up front, Evan Nichols. So the veteran Kevin McKee sits out today. We'll certainly see him back in the tournament again. And then another rookie is out in Joseph Woodkey. USA threatening here at the power play. Farmer gets over, and what a stop by Lee, but he wraps it around and puts it in anyway.
And that was a delayed penalty too. It would have been a 5-on-3. I was actually hoping that Farmer didn't get that goal so we'd see a 5-on-3, because the way the Americans can move that puck on a 5-on-3 is quite delightful to watch. But on the delay, Farmer, here he is. Midgewitz takes it, throws it over. Farmer misses it. Keeps control of the puck, doesn't panic, comes out. Lee can't get across, and he just sneaks it in. Nice play. The delayed penalty is canceled out, and they still have the power play.
So Kwang Hook Choi is in the box now for Korea. Fresh 2 minutes on the clock for the United States, who now leads 7-0.
That was a nice goal, a real nice goal. And the Americans are doing everything they have to do Leah's going to get a nice little rest. I'd be shocked if he comes out for the third period. This is a perfect opportunity to get your young goalie who has never seen action in the Paralympics, as we've been talking about many times. Steve Cash, he's been the stalwart for the Americans. He was actually the backup in, a lot of people don't know this, but Manny Guerrero Jr. was the #1 goalie in Torino, and Cash was the backup. I think he was like 15 years old. Then he took over as the #1 job, and we know what happened then. Back-to-back-to-back golds.
Took it and ran with it. So the backup for this game is 25-year-old Griffin Lamar of Haverhill, Massachusetts. Here come the Americans again. Oh boy, Wallace fires it off the crossbar. He was vying for a fourth, and we got a stoppage of play just 13 seconds into the new 5-on-4.
Wallace was going for a little bit of fame there. He hits the crossbar. The goaltender's best friend is the crossbar in the post. Lee should be thanking his post on that one, because he would have no chance. He could have been in like Daryl Sittler company there.
Over on the far side, Roybal plays it back. Wallace switches with Pauls and now takes it in. Passes it back down low for Roybal. Here's Wallace on it again. Centers in front for Misiewicz and just poked wide. Out of the corner, it comes back behind the net for Misiewicz. Off the outside of the net, bounces to Farmer, scoops it over to Roybal now, takes the shot, lead the save. Piling in as the captain pauses as the puck pops out to the far side, and Roybal's got it again. Scoops it over for Wallace. Looks for an option, finds one with Pauls. Had trouble handling it, and it's fired right down the ice.
I don't think they have the Koreans as having a shot on goal, which I believe that's wrong, but look at this.
In transition, Farmer, the shot from his forehand, and that was fended off as that one took a weird deflection off a defender off the outside of the net. Back around to the near side. Pauls takes a bump. 30 seconds to go in the American power play. Brody Roybal has it. Up the middle, Farmer, shot off the iron and in. And the United States continue to put on an offensive clinic in this one against Korea. Another beauty from Declan Farmer.
I know we were talking before the game started about Farmer and what he might do in this tournament. And I sound like a broken record, but this kid is just absolutely phenomenal. The pride of Tampa Bay. He just knows how to score. He finds beautiful angles. He cuts back and forth. He makes it so easy. And he makes goaltenders who are good look very average.
Paul, we were talking pregame. I asked you, what do we think for points at the end of the tournament? If you have to guess for Declan Farmer. Now, the United States probably only playing 4 games here, so my original guess was 17. I shaved that down to 12. You went with 13. He's got 4 points a game. He's got 4 points again tonight. I don't know. I think 12 is actually going to be a pretty conservative estimate. Maybe I should have stuck with the 17.
Yeah, and there's a good chance in the semis, whether it is against Czech Republic or China, or they get Korea again, that he might get 4 or 5 more, and you never know against Canada in the gold if that happens. I think my original 20 I should have stayed with. I went down to 13 because I got scared a little. But I think he'll get as many points as he wants to. I think he's that good. I compared him yesterday to Connor McDavid. I know I had some people in Canada tweet me out that weren't happy with me. But
well, those are McDavid numbers.
They are.
Got 8 points in a game and a half. I don't know if Connor McDavid has 8 points in a game and a half.
And he's still young. He could get 2 or 3 more games, and he may break records that will never be broken again.
Back to the line, D. Quebec tries to move it out in front. Of course, Farmer now the all-time record holder for points by an American Paralympian on this team. Continues to add to his total tournament by tournament. Paralympic gold in 2014 and 2018. And Declan Farmer is still just 24 years of age.
Unbelievable.
This one swept along the near side boards by Korea. Approaching 30 seconds to play here in the second period, and USA in complete control, up 8-0 now.
You know, we talk about Farmer breaking the record, and I like to give the praise to some of the guys that played before. Joe Howard, the captain of the United States, he held the record for years from Boston. Real tough player, one of the toughest guys I played against. Very fair. Whenever I made a stop on him, he'd always say, "Nice stop." When he scored a goal, he'd give me a little jab, but we were both big-time Boston Red Sox fans.
Off the draw, Nichols turns it around. Didn't get it through traffic. Paul stops it up at the line. Passes down on the left side for Farmer. Shovels it back out in front, and some contact here in the goal is Jae-Woong Lee was knocked off balance. That's going to draw the whistle.
I'm not sure if he's calling a penalty or if he's the crease violation, which we haven't seen called yet this tournament.
Got another look at it here, Malik Jones.
That should be goaltender interference by the letter of the law, but Jones is not getting a penalty, so I think they're just calling crease violation. No, they're actually giving the Koreans a penalty.
So I'm assuming they're saying, the referee there, that Jones was pushed in because Young-Sung Kim gets the gate here for interference.
I didn't see that, but that doesn't mean it didn't happen.
So a late period power play for the United States. If they don't score on it, that'll carry over into the third. Declan Farmer.
He's so good on the draw.
Muscles another face-off back, and it's in the back of the net again. USA cash in on another power play. Just 8 seconds into it, and they lead 9-0.
I think Jones deflected that in, and that will be his third goal of the tournament. Oh, he got the rebound. Nice little shot. Lee can't control the rebound, and Jones hammers it in. Maybe the easiest goal he'll ever score as an American, but they all count. And in 2 or 3 months, he'll be telling all his friends that he put it under the bar where they keep the peanut butter, Victor.
A goal is a goal, and Jones has 3 of them now at the Paralympics. Lots more of those to come off of his sticks. 13 seconds to go in the second period. Another dominant showing for the United States. This is the most they've ever scored goals-wise in one game against South Korea in any of their 4 Paralympic meetings.
And they have 15 minutes left, and I'm going to put my 2-0 record on the line, Victor, and say both goaltenders will be changed for the third period.
We will wait and see what the result of that is here after the intermission. Through 30 minutes of play over 2 periods. Dominant performance. USA lead 9-0.
The Canadian Para Ice Hockey Show, brought to you by Petro-Canada. At Petro-Canada, we're proud supporters of Canada's coaches and athletes.
Shot just getting inside the gate. Now there's that smile again.
Train for your true calling with the Canadian Armed Forces. A message from the Government of Canada.
Let them say we're crazy. I don't care about that. Put your hand in mine, baby. Don't ever look back. And we Nothing's gonna stop us now.
Yeah, you're doing it. Slowly.
This really is the stuff of Olympic dreams.
Ryan, we have found that you have a condition known as Stargardt macular degeneration. There is no treatment.
Right. Tricky.
Toyota. Start your impossible.
I'm here to prove that if you can see it, you can be it.
I survived cancer. The mountains, they don't scare me.
Losing my sight hasn't stopped me from going for gold.
When more of us play, more of us win. Visa, a network working for everyone.
Welcome back to the Canadian Para Ice Hockey Show, presented by Petro-Canada. Victor Findlay here with Paul Rosen after 2 periods of play. Big number for the United States of America. They have 9 right now on the South Koreans to their 0. For the intermission here, Paul, let's talk a little bit about life after Paralympic hockey. Of course, you find yourself now in broadcasting. A guy like Billy Bridges, who you played with, is still playing, but there is an end to the career here for all of these players eventually. And what are some of the paths that your teammates have taken post-Paralympics?
Well, it's a tough thing when you play for a long time and then you stop. For me, broadcasting is a love. I absolutely love being around the game. But a lot of guys have gone back into business. Some guys have it tough, and they have some issues, and it's a really tough thing. But the one thing you have to understand is you have to start planning for it at some point. And this is where it's changed with a lot of the young guys now. They start looking into it. There's great packages out there for them to look into where they're going to go after, so it's not a surprise when they retire.
Well, Kevin Rempel is a bronze medalist from Sochi 2014. Now, founder as well of the Sledge Hockey Experience. He had an opportunity to catch up and talk all things Paralympics and post-Paralympics with CBC's very own Jacqueline Dory.
Kevin, thank you for joining us. The Paralympics are here. It must be a nostalgic time for you. You won a bronze Paralympic medal in Sochi 2014. You had a world title with Team Canada in 2013. So how do you look back on your experiences with the Canada's para ice hockey team?
Yeah, it absolutely is nostalgic. I've been following all my friends, my former teammates on Instagram, seeing them arrive at the games and just, hanging out, taking photos in the village. And I just remember the feeling of excitement of how much they've had to work to get to where they are today, but also the excitement to finally get to compete at the highest level and showcase what their abilities are, but also what their sport of sledge hockey, or now known as para ice hockey, is all about.
And tell us again how you got involved in parasport.
Yeah, the short story is when I was 23 years old, I was riding my dirt bike. I pursued freestyle motocross, so people would be familiar with that as the X Games stunts. And I ended up crashing at my second show just after Canada Day in 2006 and broke my back and was paralyzed. Now, fortunately, I didn't sever my spinal cord. I learned how to walk again. However, because of the nerve damage, I can't run, jump, or stand up and skate. And that's what led me down the path of discovering parasport, is just to try to find a new way to be active. Living with disability is something that's really challenging for many people with disabilities. And also find something new in terms of a passion to pursue to help living with a disability, help you want to get out of the house and direct your energy towards something positive.
and you've managed to take that experience and extend it into your business. So tell us more about the sledge hockey experience.
When I was with Team Canada, we were in Yellowknife, and I think it was like 2013, when I had a light bulb moment as I seen other members of the community, specifically the able-bodied population who were trying the sport, getting off as the Zamboni was coming off, slapping their sticks saying, "I don't want to get off the ice yet." And so I had this light bulb moment that made me think about using sledge hockey as a corporate team building activity. And so I created what I call the sledge hockey experience. We like to get you butt down on the ice for a new perspective on life, sport, and people with disabilities. I provided a turnkey operation based out of Toronto at the Leafs practice facilities for a half-day off-site team building event. And we're just getting back into running these events now, and it's something that everybody can have a taste of the sport and have something fun to look forward to. This year, Canada is going, hoping to get that gold medal. What do you think their chances are? I'm confident this is the year for Canada to break through. It's always been a Canada-USA final for so many years. And we have a young squad, a hungry group of players with some great leadership from the veterans of people like Greg Westlake, Billy Bridges, and Adam Dixon there to lead everybody. And although it's going to be a tough battle, the speed of the game has increased so much that I think this is the year. And I'm going to be watching every single game to cheer them on. Well, enjoy watching your old team, and thank you so much for joining us, Kevin. Thanks for having me.
Gatorade, with electrolytes to help replenish what's lost in sweat. Carbs to help fuel your working muscles. And fluids to help you hydrate. Rehydrate, replenish, refuel. Scientifically formulated, so you never stop competing. Gatorade.
To tackle climate change, we all need to do our part. That's why the Government of Canada is taking action to help protect our environment. We're reducing plastic waste. We're making our homes and buildings more energy efficient. We're building a cleaner, greener economy. Find out how you can help leave a healthier environment for our kids and grandkids. A message from the Government of Canada.
Excited or are you scared?
Yeah.
You'll be okay.
Courage. What we learn from play, we learn for life.
First win, but not the last. Check. Into the spotlight. Check. Injured and out. Check. Prove them wrong. Check. Worth it? Always. When you find what moves you, it gets you through.
You can now get anything delivered with Uber Eats, but take it from me, that doesn't mean you can eat anything you get. Burger, that is an eats. Paper towels, don't eat. Bottle of vino, eats by drinking. Nanas, eats every morning. Dog toy, don't eat unless you're a good boy. Toothpaste, that's a stumper. This game just got really hard. It's an eats, but it's a don't swallows.
Start your impossible. Toyota, proud sponsor of the Olympic and Paralympic Games.
Moments away here from the start of the third period between USA and Korea in this group stage game. 9-0 through 2 periods of play in favor of the United States of America. Victor Finley here with Paul Rosen as we get set for the start, this third and final stanza. Paul, obviously 9 goals for the United States. It's an impressive offensive performance, but what in particular has impressed you the most specifically about the offense?
I think the way they move the puck around, they really could have another 4 or 5. D. Quebec has missed 2 easy yawning cages, but it's the way they unselfishly, and this goes back to the coaching, they move the puck around, they try to get everybody into play, and that's how the team has progressed to gold to gold to gold over Vancouver, Sochi, and Korea, and how they're trying to do it again this year in the gold medal game. It's all about they have great talent, having some fun. That's what it's all about. You see them smiling on the bench. You see them having fun. I just noticed out of the corner of my eye that number 29, the young goaltender, is coming in. That makes me 3 for 3, not bragging about that. And we'll see about the Korean goalie. That could make me 4 for 4. Little unusual thing here, the goaltender coming in, he's going a la Steve Cash with no padding whatsoever. We'll catch him in a second. He just wears his shin pads like a defenseman. That's a little unusual nowadays. That's how I played back in the day. And yes, 4 for 4.
Wow.
We're changing them
up.
up.
Paul. Look at you, Paul. New goalies on either side. New goaltender for South Korea is Jun Choi-hyuk, 49 years old.
Wow.
Back with the Korean national team after last playing at the Paralympics for them in Vancouver 2010. So it's been quite some time, over a decade since he's last played. And there is 25-year-old Griffin Lamar of Haverhill, Massachusetts, making his Paralympic debut between the pipes for the United States of America. So there you can see, Paul, no padding. Tell us about the rationale behind that decision. What advantage and disadvantage does that give a goaltender?
Well, back in the day, it was a norm. Goalies weren't wearing pads in the game when it was called sled hockey. Now you've got the companies making pads for the goaltender to make it more like an able-bodied goalie. He's going very old school. Steve Cash did it from when he started playing in 2006. I did it from when I started playing in 2000. So this is really unusual, and I'd have to ask him why he's doing that as opposed to wearing the pad. And the pad is much more advantageous to stopping the puck, because you want to get as big as you possibly can. So when he tips over and taking a bullet shot from a Billy Bridges, if he ever gets a chance to play on a shin pad, is definitely going to hurt a lot more than a goalie pad.
So Griffin Lamar, who grew up playing lacrosse in Massachusetts, gets the start in this period, and the United States come in right away. His shot is ripped wide by Eustace. So Lamar, one of a number of multi-sport athletes on both these teams. A bunch of the Korean players have experience playing wheelchair rugby as well.
Yeah, and you know what? I want to take this opportunity to apologize to my good friend Brad Bowden, who won a gold medal in 2004 in Athens in wheelchair basketball, everyone. I said wheelchair curling last night, and I got destroyed on Twitter. I made a mistake. Yes, I am big enough to admit it. Brad, I know he's watching right now in Barrie, Ontario. Brad won a gold in wheelchair basketball, not curling, in 2004, and para ice hockey, which is called sled hockey, in 2006. So hopefully that apologize will get me out of the bad books on Twitter.
You're still in my good books, though.
Oh, thank you.
You never left them.
I appreciate that. We're trying our very best to do what we can to make everybody understand how incredible these athletes are who happen to be disabled. Not disabled athletes, but athletes first, disabled second.
A lot of them have, of course, obviously experience in para ice hockey, but a number of different sports. Matter of fact, on this Korean side, you've got Man-Gun Yu, who's a national champion back in Korea, and para javelin, discus, and shot put.
That is quite the resume.
Of course, Liam Hickey on Canada has represented nationally in wheelchair basketball as well before.
Yeah, we want to go way back. I played sitting volleyball and para ice hockey, winning a bronze with my teammates in the 2007 Pan American Games in Rio de Janeiro. It was a lot of fun coming out to opening ceremonies with a t-shirt and shorts as opposed to a triple parka.
That's become a topic of discussion in the game a lot today, is about having kids play different sports, especially in the summer months, whether it be baseball, soccer, or anything other than hockey. Just in terms of sharpening your skills as a hockey player, does the same apply for para-ice hockey players and getting experience with other sports? Does that help them as hockey players too?
I think so. I really am a big proponent of playing different sports. You obviously want to keep your talent level high in the sport that you dominate, but playing different sports at least 1 month or 2 months a year, giving yourself the opportunity to do other things, it gets you grounded into a variety, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with getting a young boy or young girl diversified in different sports.
Puck was sent into the bench, so we'll set up here in the Korean zone. Love hand side. How many different sports did you end up trying throughout your career, Paul?
Well, I tried wheelchair basketball. I didn't really like it. The one that I really liked was wheelchair rugby, and I wasn't disabled enough to play, believe it or not.
That's a violent sport. I had my first introduction to watching that at the 2015 Toronto Pan Am Games. That is a heavy-duty sport.
I started trying that right after Murder Ball came out, the documentary Murder Ball on the American wheelchair rugby team, and a good friend of mine, Shane Smith, is on the Canadian team. It is a violent, violent game. You don't call something Murder Ball that's, you know,
no, it's
fun.
not Ring Around the Rosie, not hopscotch, that's for sure.
No. One thing I've never done is I've never skied in my life when I had 2 legs, and when I had 1 leg, here's a chance.
Back the other way, Jung for Korea scores! Off the turnover, Sung Hwang Jung slides it in the back of the net, and for the first time ever at a Paralympics, South Korea have a goal against the United States of America.
And they are excited, and they should be excited. I feel bad for the young American keeper. He committed way too early. That's where having the legs out is a lot harder than having a leg tucked in. Yeah, that was a tough one. He wants that puck. Get him that puck.
So the Rocket Man, Jung, comes through for Korea.
And they just threw the puck into the bench for him. That's a big one. Tell you one thing, the defenseman that made that mistake and coughed it up, he's going to get riled tomorrow at practice.
I want to talk about 2-sport athletes. Sung Hwan Jung actually retired from para-ice hockey after Pyeongchang 2018 in favor of trying to get to Beijing 2022 as a cross-country skier at the Paralympics. Only took him a couple months to find out he didn't really like that as much as para-ice hockey, and then went right back to it. And it's a good thing he did, because he's got a goal here for Korea against the United States.
And that's a big morale booster for people who say, well, it's 1 goal, they're up 9-1. But when it comes to a team sport, something that can give the team a boost for tomorrow's practice to get them ready, and it might not affect them against Canada, it might not even affect them in the semifinal game. But what it will do, it will get them prepared for that bronze medal game. And ultimately, unless there's a huge, huge upset, Victor, they're going to be playing, and they know it, for the bronze. And the bronze medal might not be the same color as gold, but in a few years, it means a lot.
Back in Pyeongchang 2018, it was a narrow margin of victory. After losing 7-0 to Canada in the semis, Korea ended up beating Italy for bronze by a 1-0 final.
Tell you one thing, of Italy, look, he head fakes him there, and that's the problem when you have your legs out. Young goalies, if you're an amputee and you get that opportunity, I'm begging you, don't keep your legs straight, tuck your leg up in. It's going to help you in the long run be a better goaltender. And I think in a few hours, the big game will be Slovakia and Italy, and that will determine who probably is going to be relegated.
Right, so you've got the 3 teams now from Group B that will be going on to the quarterfinals. That leaves one odd team out because we're down now, of course, from 8 to 7 teams without RPC in the mix this year. So it's changed the format of the tournament ever so slightly.
And that big win by the Chinese is really going to help them save off elimination and save off relegation.
Off the turnover, chance for the United States, in tight. And the save is made on Nichols, the 17-year-old.
Sorry, Victor, I want to emphasize again the importance of the goaltender with his leg tucked up under and having the pad as opposed to the cross legs. Right there, when the American came in, he had nowhere to go, and he basically put it right into the Korean goaltender's stomach, as opposed to head faking like that just happened to the American goalie and going around him.
So 1 goal here for Korea in the 3rd. Still a 9-1 lead for the United States of America.
Take it all in. Show up early, stay late. Live your passion. Get out, get in, do more. Hold. Get the bag, keep one packed. Don't put it off. Because when we make it count, we rise higher.
Final period in the group stage for the United States of America. Just 2 games for each of the 3 teams in Group A, Canada, USA, and Korea. Canada and Korea will clash at about midnight on Monday into Tuesday Eastern Standard Time. And that'll close out the group stage for Canada. So 2 of the 3 teams, likely to be USA and Canada, will get byes through to the semis. Korea can't beat Canada in their final group stage game. They'll play in the quarters. USA looking to set up. Here's Declan Farmer. Stick handles, tried to flick the shot through. It was blocked. And Farmer stays with it. Nifty pass over for Pauls. Looking for an option there at the side of the net. Poked away. Even though this game, Paul, is essentially over, I think the Koreans are keeping score knowing that it's 1-0 in the 3rd period right now.
I was just going to say that. 100% they are. You have to look at every little victory you can get, break it down to 5 minutes at a time, and right now they are winning the 3rd period. And in the grand scheme of things, it might not mean anything at the end of the game, but to the Koreans, especially the Korean coaching staff, trying to get their guys ready. They'll have a good practice tomorrow, try to get themselves ready for the Canadians, and that's going to be a tough game because the Canadians are going to be very, very hungry.
So a timeout here called by South Korea. And I think that's an indication of just how seriously they are taking this 3rd period.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. This is a huge opportunity for them to get, you know, some type of momentum, some type of coming back to the village and having a good dinner together as a team. And here's the goal again. Josh Paul's the captain. Very unlike Josh Paul's losing the puck. He'll be upset about that. And a real nice head fake. Young Lamar came out a little too far, and when you come out that far and your legs are straight, it's impossible for you to get back. Whereas if you have that play where you're uptight and compact as a goaltender, as most of the goalies in the world do, you can move yourself back with your stick and your glove. And, you know, at some point in the week as we go along through this tournament, I'm going to bring in my catching glove and show you the difference between an able-bodied catching glove and a para ice hockey catching glove with the spikes on it. And that's how he could push himself back and maybe have an opportunity to stop that. He gave himself no opportunity, and he's going to look back at it because this is, you always remember your first game. I remember my first game ever, and he's not going to be thrilled with that one, although Josh Pauls definitely won't be thrilled with the mistake.
So first goal conceded of the tournament for the United States. Back from Pyeongchang 2018, they didn't concede a goal the entirety of the group stage. They beat Japan and Czech Republic both by 10-0 scores, then beat Korea 8-0. Did allow a goal in a 10-1 win over the Italians in the semis, then of course allowed one to Canada in the gold medal final. It ended up being 2-1 overtime final.
I remember my first game, it was in Oslo, Norway against Norwegians, and I let a goal in from center.
Ooh.
Eskil Hagen took a shot, it bounced 5 feet in front of me, bounced over me, and I thought I would not have a great career after that goal. Fortunately, the hockey gods helped me out, and I was pretty happy with the way it ended up.
Here's David Eustace, stick handling at the side of the net, trying to jam it through. Everyone's locked up in the crease here. Apparently the puck is still loose, and finally play gets whistled down.
See, that's where there's the Korean goalie was a little too nice there. That's where
I was just gonna say, for you, Paul, you would have been throwing some hands in there, I think.
Well, no, he would have. The American would have had one little shot at me, and then the second one he would have been introduced to Mr. Blocker. and Mr. Blocker was not a friendly person. Look at that, he's going at him and at him and at him, and the two Koreans are just standing there. 1, 2. Oh, the puck was loose too. Good call by the referee.
Almost a goal there for David Eustace.
Yeah, I thought the puck was frozen, but it wasn't. We got a penalty.
Right off the whistle. Looks like interference will be the call.
It looks like the Koreans are going to the box again.
Americans have been potent on the power play in this game.
Yeah. The two, obviously we could go with Farmer and Roybal when we talk about the two most impressive players, but I'm going to say Jones and Wallace. They have really, really impressed me this game.
Young Sung Kim is in the box here. 2 minutes for interference. Out to center it comes again. USA regroup. Cross over the line onside. Power play time here for the 17-year-old Nichols. Comes up high for Pauls. Stolen away by the captain, Jong Ho Jang, as he plays it out to center. Now Pauls racing back in over the blue line for USA. Pauls turns around. Defers for Grove. Gives it back to Pauls. He's lost one stick. Still has the other. Passes off for Nichols, and he fires the shot wide. Scooped up now by Jones. Opts to leave it. That puck just rolls in harmlessly on Jun Choi Hyuk.
Tell you one thing, if I was the coach of the Koreans, the first thing I would say tomorrow at practice before the players go on the ice, no matter what happens in this game from this point on for the last 7 minutes, is the great Canadian could not score against the Americans, and we got one against them. And the average fan might be saying, come on, Rosie, that doesn't make any sense. But in the grand scheme of things, when you're in a dressing room trying to find any type of motivation, that's something that the Korean coach could really, really put up on the chalkboard. We scored on the Americans, and the Canadians didn't.
What a nifty play there at the side of the net. Almost a tip in for Nichols. Ends up just off the mark. And now played around the boards. Back deep into Korean territory. Taking a bump there was Youngjae Cho. And Roybal sets it up for USA.
The Americans won't be happy with the sloppiness that they're playing right now. You get into bad habits, and it's hard to break bad habits. You know that. You've called enough hockey in your day.
No doubt about it, Paul. This third period has not been anything really to write home about for the United States so far. Still 6.5 minutes to go in it as South Korea successfully kill off this penalty. Back to 5-on-5.
Yeah, 6.5 minutes. Parma could get 4 more goals.
Back up the near side to center ice. Tip the head just over the line onside. Here's Farmer, already 5 points today. Looks to pass off for Mashevich. Mashevich curls around high in the zone. Filters it down low. Picked up at the side by Eustace. Leaves it behind for Farmer. Over to Eustace. Oh boy, that was a wild angle. And it ended up flying just wide of the net. Brought through by Farmer as he passes over. Boy, David Eustace has had a whole bunch of looks here.
Yeah, he's snake bit right now.
Here's Mashevitz.
Another one.
Sets him up again. Eustace.
Off the bar.
Another opportunity goes by the wayside. David Eustace can't seem to buy a goal, and I think Mashevitz and Farmer know it. They've been trying to set him up here all shift.
Oh, that might have been the
centered again.
That might have been the perfect chance to do the Michigan.
That was Wallace who was looking out in front for David Eustace. He is a Paralympic rookie this year, Eustace, so he's looking for his first goal. Whenever he gets it, he'll certainly have earned it, as Roman looks to pass it back up the middle, to take it away. Sent out to center. Under 5 to go. Josh Paul's scurrying over to it along the near side.
Very impressed with the way the Koreans have played this third period.
Puck just trickles back over the line to the center ice area. And David Eustace over to it. Just throws it back deep into his own end. Roman moved it over, and Korea take it right back. Kyle Zitch with the pressure. To center Sang-hyun Park. Now locked up right in front of the Korean bench. Looking for Dongxing Jang. So is Rico Roman. Jang scored the only goal for Korea in that 1-0 win over the Italians in the bronze medal game from Pyeongchang 2018. That'll be a goal he'll certainly remember forever.
Yeah, you heard Josh Paul screaming, "Back, Rico, back." A lot of chatter going on in the game of para ice hockey. They're down solo to the ice.
Still a big 9-1 lead for the United States, but the only goal so far in the third period belongs to South Korea.
Hey, the gold medal event's on soon.
It is?
Yeah.
The event's about to start!
Or we can just watch it on the 5 TV app.
Watch anywhere on any device with the 5 TV app.
The Americans have managed to put up 9 goals in this game. Certainly could have been a bunch more, especially for David Eustace in particular. A bunch of chances there on the doorstep here in the third period, but hasn't found a way through.
Between Usage and D. Quebec, they've missed probably 5 or 6 yawning cages.
Declan Farmer's had a couple looks that he hasn't converted on, though he still does have 5 points in the game, so all's well that ends well for him.
Well, the crazy thing is, too, like we're talking about 5 or 6 that they missed, they still scored 9.
Right.
That's not bad.
Here's Rico Roman. No face-off. At least it was originally going to be Jong Ho Jang. Instead, he's waved out of the face-off dot in favor of Ji-hyun Ryu. Shot sent wide off the boards.
One thing the Americans have done in the third period that won't make the coach happy is they missed the net a ton, and they haven't missed the net in the first 2 periods. Didn't miss the net a lot against Canada, but they have missed the net on, I'm going to say, a good 80% of their shots in the third period.
Head coach of this America team, David Hoff, originally from Botno, North Dakota. He was athletic director and math teacher at Botno High School. 7th head coach of the U.S. Paralympic hockey team.
Yeah, he took over the team when the great Jeff Sauer passed away from cancer. What an incredible, incredible man. great hockey man with Wisconsin Badgers. Any hockey historians out there that know the game, he was with the team with the great Badger Bob Johnson, and I had some great opportunities to talk hockey with him. He passed away tragically from cancer, and I know when the team won in Korea in 2018, they were carrying American flag, American shields that said JS for the great coach Jeff Sauer.
Still friends on either side too, even though the Canadian-American rivalry is as fearsome as they come. Those players in particular, I'm sure, Paul, get to know each other pretty well, don't they?
Yeah, you know what, when you're on the ice, you're playing, you got the sweater on, you're playing for your country, there's nothing better. But when it's over, all the players have had some type of tragedy in their life to make them Paralympians, and you have a lot of respect for each other, and you tend to talk about life more than sport, which is a great thing about Paralympic athletics, is you get to talk about life, about the journey. A lot of mental health issues happen after you become paralyzed or lose a limb, and people don't understand that. It's mental health is a big issue and a big problem in this world right now, and when you become disabled, sometimes it plays with your mind too. That's why being able to play sports at whether it's the Olympic, Paralympic level or at the recreational level. And one thing people have to understand, the Paralympic level, para ice hockey, would not be what it's like without the great programs we have in Canada, in the United States, all by great people like Deb Sorley, who does a ton for minor hockey, and that's what it's really all about, because at the minor level, we'd never be able to play without able body. So it's a situation where a family can have a disabled young man or young woman in their family and two able-bodied kids, and they all play this great game at the club level. And that's what it's all about, to get the players to enjoy it and get some exercise. And if you're lucky enough to be at the Paralympic level, man, you can walk away with a nice medal, and those medals last forever.
They sure do. And it's great to see the game continuing to develop around the world, outside of North America as well. They battle for it here along the near side boards. And Siwoo Choi looks to take it away for Korea. Of course, you do see some non-traditional able-bodied hockey markets sort of rise to prominence here on the Paralympic side, like South Korea. We've seen Japan medal before as well. Of course, one of the all-time great teams going way back to 1994 is Norway at the Paralympic level, but Paul, they're not in the tournament this year.
That's the sad thing, really. You know, Norway, one of the founders of this game, 94 in Lillehammer, great 98 in Nagano, and then 2002 in Salt Lake, all the way up to the first time that they haven't qualified for the games because their grassroots program has never taken off. And the old veterans, like Tommy Robelstadt and Rolf Einar Pedersen, they got too old to play at this level, and that's why the game has kind of died in Norway, and that's very, very sad.
So half a minute to go here. 30 seconds remain in the third period of play. It's a 9-1 lead for the USA, but South Korea will be defending here as passionately as they can. They've got a 1-0 lead right now in the third period. That would be a major win for them moving forward in this tournament. Just over 10 seconds to go. Still loose at center ice. This is swept away by Grove. Takes some contact as he loses his balance. And South Korea will win the third period 1-0, but ultimately in the big picture, this is still a dominant performance for the United States of America. A runaway win to close out their group stage after shutting out Canada 5-0. They take care of business today, beating Korea 9-1.
Yeah, absolutely. And I tell you one thing, is the Canadians are watching this game, and the Canadian coach Ken Babby and Mike Foligno, they're going to take something out of this to talk to the team tomorrow in their team meeting and say, okay, let's forget about that 5-0 win and even the 9 goals that the Americans scored in the first 2 periods. But they are stoppable. The Koreans shut them down in the third period. You have to take little wins at a time, and a little win for Korea can be the same little win for Canada. That if you play smart and you bottle up the neutral zone, you take advantage of the chances, you can beat them and you can shut them down. Korea beats them 1-0 in the third period. It's a huge victory.
And you see there the post-game handshakes are now fist bumps, I guess, here for both teams. As Korea still have one game left to go, that'll be against Team Canada. For the United States now, a couple days off before they regroup for the semifinals. So you do beat Korea 9-1, but are you happy with the performance overall in this game if you're the United States of America, Paul?
You're not happy with the third period. I can guarantee you that. And they'll practice very hard for the next 2 days. And I know Josh Pauls very well, the captain of the United States team. He's going to feel terrible about that mistake that coughed up that goal, and he'll address the team. He's a real good captain. He'll adjust the team. But the bottom line is when the USA plays the way they can, when Declan Farmer is on his game, and he was he was the invisible man in the third period, he still has 9 points in 2 games.
He does. Another 5 points in this game. He put up 4 points against Team Canada. How about the hat trick for Jack Wallace in this game, too? We really didn't see much of him in that third period either, but he was dynamite in the first period for USA, wasn't he?
Yeah, the first 15, he was incredible. Didn't see a lot of him in the second. Didn't see a lot of anybody in the third. And I think Coach Huff is going to really get that team. Go back to the village now. Relax tonight. Don't get too upset. Tomorrow, though, they're back in the drawing board. They're back in the room looking at video. And that's the one thing, too, that a lot of might not see. Well, maybe they just practice. But I'll guarantee you, I know from when I played, and it's changed a lot to now, they do a lot of video work, all the countries, especially the U.S. and Canada, and they'll be breaking down every little thing. Why did that happen? Why did Josh Pauls lose the puck there? How can they get better? Because ultimately, they're playing now. Their next 2 games, they're not losing. They're playing for that gold medal game next week.
All right, well, the big goal for Korea in the third period of play prior to this game, South Korea in 3 meetings against the United States at the Paralympics had never scored a goal on them at all, period. Outscored 16-0 prior to this meeting today, and it's Sung Hwang Jung, the Korean Rocket Man, who finds the back of the net for the South Koreans. You can see the celebration on the bench there. That's a big-time goal for this team, even though they lost 9-1 today.
Absolutely, and it was right from the too bad we couldn't see it right from the blue line where Josh Pauls gave up the puck, had it, and put it in. This is right here. That was a great play by the Korean to take advantage. Like, you could say, yeah, okay, Josh Pauls, that's not like him to lose the puck at the blue line, and the Korean then has a break. You still have to score. You still have to put the biscuit in the basket, and he took advantage of a young American goalie who's never played before, and he head faked him, turned his legs out. You know, I'm going to say it a million times. Long legs make it very difficult for a goalie. Turned him out, put it in. Ultimately, he scored the goal, and he put the Koreans in an opportunity where they really can have a great sleep tonight. And that's, you lose 9-1, and you say, well, they probably aren't going to feel good about themselves. I'll guarantee you the Koreans are going back to the village, and they're going back excited. And some other countries might see them. Why are they excited? You're going to have the great thing about being in the village, you can have anything you want. I used to get a steak at 3 o'clock in the morning just because I could. So they're going to be in the village. People are going to be walking around, wheeling around and going, hey, didn't the Koreans just lose 9-1? Why are they so excited? They're excited because they played well in the third. They ended the game properly.
All right, well, for Team USA, one of the standout performers was Declan Farmer, just as he was in the first game, 20 years old from Tampa, Florida. A little history now as USA's all-time points leader at the Paralympics. Set that record last night against Canada. Just 24 years old. Boy, the future is bright for this young man right here, and he's going to be good again for USA. We didn't really see much of him there in the third period, Paul, but, I mean, don't make the mistake of sleeping on this guy. He's going to be big again the rest of the tournament for USA, won't he?
Well, I tell you one thing. He broke Joe Howard's record tonight. And that record now is going to, he's got 2 games left in this tournament. He's going to definitely be in 2026. By the time maybe 2030 also, by the time he retires, it might be like a Gretzky type of thing where no matter who plays after him, they're never going to get the opportunity to break his records. His records will be incredible.
So we'll have a couple days to sleep on that before the United States find themselves in the semifinal. That's the spot they booked here after winning both their group stage games. Just one group stage game remaining in Group A. That will be between Canada and Korea. You can see that one right here on Monday evening, 11:55 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on CBC, 8:55 p.m. Pacific on CBC Gem. Coming up tomorrow, plenty more coverage from Beijing 2022 on CBC. Wheelchair curling, para snowboard, and para alpine skiing as well. Starts at 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 3 a.m. Pacific. Well, final thoughts on this one tonight, Paul. Another dominating performance from the United States. No surprise in that regard for the 9-1 win, but what are your biggest takeaways from this one?
I think there are two. The first two periods, my takeaway is the Americans are dominant. When they want to play the way they can, they make it like the Harlem Globetrotters. They can do whatever they want, anytime they want. Jen Lee is not allowed a goal in the tournament yet. He goes in as a backup. Now he's a number one, taking huge pressure on him from the great Steve Cash. They're very happy about that. They're not happy about the third period. They got to tighten that up. But the Koreans are going into a game against the Canadians on Monday night with a lot of confidence. And they better have a lot of confidence because I will guarantee you, Liam Hickey, Greg Westlake, Billy Bridges, Tyler McGregor, every one of them, they're coming out for revenge.
All right, Monday night, Canada, Korea. Hope to see you there until we get there for everyone here at the Canadian Para Ice Hockey Show. Thanks for tuning in. Have a good night.
The Canadian Para Ice Hockey Show, brought to you by Petro-Canada. At Petro-Canada, we're proud supporters of Canada's coaches and athletes.